guys, where I wanted to start today was the Andy Kotelnicki experience, as I like to call it. Now, last year, there was an emphasis by James Franklin. There was an emphasis by the coaching staff and the end of, especially kind of towards the end of the Mike Yurcich tenure, where things maybe got a little stale, maybe got a little repetitive, maybe got a little predictable, if you will. And Penn State and James Franklin brings in Andy Kotelnicki to get these, quote, explosive plays going. And that's what Andy Kotelnicki was known for at Kansas. He brought a Kansas team that was 110th in yards per game 3 years ago to back-to-back top 10 finishes in the last two seasons as the Jayhawks offensive coordinator. So, guys, we'll start with the basics, the overarching stuff. In this first game, everything seemed to go well. Maybe the eye test will tell you it was one game. Maybe you're excited about it. But with everything that we kind of were asking for from Andy Kotelnicki and Drew Allar, the receiving core, the great running back tandem, what did you guys see out of this offensive group? Did you get the explosive plays you were looking for? Were you excited about what you saw in Morgantown last weekend?
Yeah, I mean, I'll start. I mean, from the end of last season, the entire summer, I'm sure Jason and we all were around the football team a little bit, and there was just such an excitement around, not only, Coach K, which we like to call him, but even, Tom Allen and then Justin running the special teams, having three new coordinators. We all wanted this to be a new look team, and they checked all the boxes. I mean, the one thing I wanted to see was the ball going down the field a little bit more. We got a great quarterback in Drew. And at times last year, we saw a lot of checkdowns. We saw a lot of bubble screens. And there weren't those explosive plays that we all wanted to see. And we saw that early on in this game. They surpassed my expectations. And I temper them because the West Virginia game last year, if you look back at that game, we had some explosive plays in that game, and then it kind of tailed off throughout the season.
Yeah.
So there's a lot to be excited about. I mean, I know we'll talk more about it throughout today, but I couldn't have been more excited from what I saw in game one from our Nittany Lions.
I think when I look at this game and kind of what Coach Andy did, I mean, there's a lot to like just from the standpoint of awareness level of with the flow of the game. I mean, you could see the maturity of the coordinator in that game in the very first quarter. Drew kind of missed on a couple of kind of easy throws, and then he said, all right, look, I'm going to give him a couple of free throws. Let me get this guy going. Boom. We saw a couple of free throws, a couple of dink and dunks to hitches for some yak yardage, and then boom, he hit Harrison Wallace and over the seam, 50-yard touchdown. So, things of that nature, I felt like those kinds of elements were really missing in last year's offense. And then when I look at the offense as a whole, throughout this game, you saw multiple personnel packages. You saw all kinds of formations. You saw shifts, a lot of pre-snap motion. You saw wide receivers out, bunch trips super wide. You saw condensed set 2x2s. You saw the line position come back that we haven't seen since kind of that Tommy Stevens era. We had Bo Pribula in there at quarterback or in there at receiver doing a motion, getting the ball, So he was building a lot of plays off each other and kind of made the offense very unpredictable to me, which I felt was a huge element that was missing last year.
Yeah, so
no, I was just going to on what Jason said, specifically about Bo. When he came in the game last year, we knew what it was. We knew what was coming. And when he dropped back and threw that touchdown to Tyler Warren, we're like, okay, I see what we got going. It's some variety in this offense, and we've all been yearning for that.
You guys, the variety, the schematics that you guys bring up. I think the one thing that was very evident to me right away was, and you talked about it, Jason, right off the shoot with the yak yards and kind of building that momentum right off, right middle of the second quarter. Guys seem to be schemed open.
Yes.
More than I have seen in a long time.
Yes.
Between the Wallace big play. Now he had a lot of yak yards after the play, catch and run, made a nice play. Allar hit him in stride. Really happy with the fact that he let go of that ball before Wallace made his break. Just a good throw, good read, good pitch and catch. But between that play, the Katron Allen passing touchdown, where he was kind of left untouched, and then made a bunch of guys miss and made a really nice play at the goal line to score. But to me, it just felt like there was so much more open space in this offense, at least in the first game. And like you said, Adam, we'll take it for one game. We'll take it for what it's worth. But for a team that preaches, one game at a time, right? This is West Virginia. I think that was such a critical step in the right direction.
Yeah, and I think where you saw the biggest growth in Drew Allar, where it was just super apparent, was the end of that first half. I mean, last year that was not happening. Last year that drive ends with us taking a knee. We're trying to play it safe. Let's just get to the next half. Let's make our adjustments and let's just win by game plan instead of, I really felt like Drew hung his nuts on that drive, straight up. That ball to Amari Evans, he just let that thing go and say, you know what? I'm going to give my guy a chance. We didn't see a whole lot of that last year, and that's kind of what the fan base was begging for all year. Like, man, just give these guys a chance. Where's the trust? Things of that nature. And then you saw it. And then you see the fade ball to Harrison Wallace to end the first half. I mean, that was awesome to see. And I think in general, you see Drew Allar, he was playing decisively. Things weren't there. Okay, I'm going to find a way out of this pocket. I'm going to run. He wasn't thinking too much, man. He was just out there playing, freaking stiff arm the linebacker to the ground and coming back and talking a little smack, we didn't see that out of Drew. So that energy, that edge, man, that's what we've been waiting for out of Drew. So I think that's one of the most exciting kind of developments out of our offense and out of that game really is, Drew's out there playing with an edge, man. He's playing with a chip. He's got something to prove. That's big time.
I love that, man. It was so funny because that last drive of the first half, I was getting up to get my halftime snacks. I started to the ball. I said, hold on, let me sit back down for a second because they look like they're about to try to do something here. And to your point, he threw that pass to Amari, gave him a shot, and then that pass that he threw to Trey to end the half, that was beautiful. A dot. I mean, like you say, you wouldn't see that last year. And the thing that I really liked about Drew was if it wasn't there, he used his feet a little bit. He knows he plays within his body. He knows he's not going to blaze, down the sideline, but he picked up some nice first downs when the play broke down. And again, he didn't panic. That we probably didn't see that last year. And he just looked like a confident, poised quarterback in game one. And that in the new system, that's great to see.